Alright.
Okay, we all ready?
Podcast is
Yeah.
the Dex.
Welcome to
Okay.
the Dexperience episode 10 or not? 9, 10.
No.
9.
Episode, but we're up to
Episode 9.
Okay, but we're up to episode
I think.
11 of Pokemon, and this episode's called
Charmander,
Charmander, the Stray Pokemon. You're listening
Stray
with
Pokemon.
Logan.
Dennis.
Harry?
I'm actually hyped for this episode.
Yeah, oh my god, it's so good. But I've got a little challenge for you guys. Yep.
Oh, fun.
As always, I just need a second to bring it up. So you guys, how is everyone doing today?
I'm doing good. Like, I had like a shower this morning, and I did my daily conniptions, like shaved, so I feel good.
I did not have a shower this morning, but I have a mocha in my hand, so it's going well.
Love it. Love it.
I had some avocado for breakfast, so I'm living the high life. So I'm doing really good.
On toast?
Yeah, on toast.
Ooh.
I'm living my full millennial life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's
so
the
good.
sweet life. Not of Zack and Cody, but of
Damn.
Harry Hashim.
Yeah.
Yoshi.
Book it, Disney. Give me a show.
I'd watch
Look,
it.
they're desperate for
What would
content.
you-
with Disney
what would
Plus
you
right now? So.
What would your theme song be?
That's a thought. It'll probably be a spoof of any Green Day song.
Oh yeah. Care to give us
Because
a tune?
I can. It doesn't mean I'm going to, but I can.
Great.
Okay.
We're looking forward to hearing it one day, Harry.
Yeah, maybe if we reach 1,000 likes on Facebook.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would be good. I mean, we got to 100 so quickly. We
Okay.
just
Yes.
Here it is. Here's
Okay.
you guys ready for the challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna read out Pokedex entry. I'm gonna read out the Pokedex entry of a Pokemon, and you guys have to
Ooh, fun.
guess the Pokemon. Okay.
Okay, what buzzer
Cool.
should we be?
Alright, do the same buzzers as last time.
Oh, we should. I think it would be fun
Squirtle.
to come up with new
Okay, what's your noises,
Oh,
guys?
Balba.
War Turtle.
I'm gonna be mew.
Okay. Okay.
War Turtle.
I'm gonna skip the part so it would make it too easy for you guys to guess.
Okay.
Okay. Tiny
Wait.
scales on its wings disperse various spores when they are flapped.
Balba.
Yes.
Butterfree?
No.
Oh, damn.
I missed the first part, Logan. Can you repeat,
Tiny
please?
scales on its wings disperse various spores when they are flapped.
War Turtle.
Yes.
Beauty Fly?
No.
Oh.
I can give you a hint.
Yeah, give us a
An
hint.
evolved form of.
Oh, no, that's too big of a hint.
That's too
Something.
big of a hint.
Well, it's an evolved form of something. There you go.
Well, of course it is.
Mew.
Yes.
Dust Dog.
No.
What generation is it from?
Kanto.
Balba.
Yep.
Oh.
Venomoth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay,
Hey.
good
There
man.
you go.
Okay. This next one is.
One to Dennis. Put your finger up, Dennis.
Alright.
Jeez, they put them so far down there. A flame burns on the tip of its tail from birth.
Bal-
War Turtle.
Huh? No, Oliver was first. I had me
Yep.
first.
Oh, wait. Assuming it's still from Gen 1, I mean, it's either. Okay, wait, Magma.
Oh, come
Is it
on.
Magma?
Nah, it's not
Magmar.
Magma.
War Turtle.
Yeah, Harry.
Charmander.
Yeah, Charmander.
Oh, I thought that was too obvious.
That's
I
the
thought it was too obvious
description,
considering the
actually, that we
Charmander episode.
Why didn't you say like Charmeleon or Charizard?
That's the description we get
Okay.
from this episode. I think.
Oh.
Fun,
Yeah.
fun facts of Logan. A transitional stage between blah blah and blah blah. Blah blah remain inactive until they evolve.
Balba.
Yes.
War
Me-
Turtle.
Harry. Sorry, Dennis was first.
Metapod.
No.
War Turtle.
Yeah.
Hey, I already said Mew. I had said Mew. after
War
Dennis.
Turtle.
Hey, no, I already
Okay,
had
yeah, we'll let
booked
Twee go.
in Mew. Kakuna.
There we go.
There's no booking in.
Yeah, I had my slot.
Sorry, right, I need to find a new one to. I need to find the tie. You guys are all tied, aren't you?
Yeah.
I need
Is
to
this a
find.
tiebreaker?
I need to find the tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Okay.
How hard do you want it?
Make it pretty
Challenging.
hard. Yeah, make it hard.
Stop
Okay.
it, Dennis.
Hey,
you
you
see
know?
you giggling away silently at that comment.
What?
Dennis can't get
Oh.
the win again. We can't let him take the win.
I won last time.
Ah. Okay, never mind. Well, can't let Harry take the win.
No, of course not.
Okay. Oh, it's just a legendary blah blah Pokemon that is said to appear to doomed people who are lost in blah blah. Yeah, Oliver?
Oh, it's not a legendary Pokemon, but Absol.
No.
So, Wartortle.
Yeah.
Zorak.
No.
Oh, I should
Oh,
know this.
I've let out some keywords that would make it way too easy.
Okay. A legendary Pokemon that appears to people,
Doomed people
doomed people.
who are lost in some kind of mountains.
Oh, I know this.
Huh.
Oh my god. Oh,
Hmm.
mm,
I don't know this.
What? Can you say what color it is as a clue?
Yeah, it might be wrong. Blue?
All right, you're colorblind.
He's colorblind.
Yeah, it's blue. It's blue.
Wartortle.
Yeah?
Was it Cobalion?
No.
Ah,
Good one.
Bulbasaur.
That's-
Yep.
I'm just gonna take a stab and say, Darkrai.
No. It's legendary. Are these all legendary
Yeah,
Pokemon you're saying?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Ha.
Hmm.
Wartortle.
Yeah?
The Thunderous.
No.
A legendary
No, it's not a
Pokemon that
mound.
appears to doomed people.
What,
Who are
what
lost-
generation is
Who
it
are
from?
lost in some kind of...
Wartortle.
Could you?
Yeah, Harry, sorry?
Suicune.
Nah. I can do... It's in the first... I'll go first. It's within the first 4 generations. I'll give you
Okay.
that much.
Bulbasaur?
Yes.
Is it Shaman?
No.
Wartortle.
Yeah.
Azelf.
No.
I'm just naming all the blue ones that I know.
That might be a red herring though,
Ah.
because
Do you want do you want what kind of species it is?
Sure.
It's a bird.
Wartortle. Oh,
Oh.
Wartortle.
Yeah, Harry.
Articuno.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a
Oh, we
legendary
got
bird
there.
Pokemon that's said to be the
Oh,
two people
we
who are
got
lost in
there.
icy mountains. That's the red and blue.
Ah,
Bulbasaur.
that's the.
Why do you
Ah.
say icy
Wow.
mountains? That would have helped.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because
It
that
would
would
have
have
been too
gave
easy.
it.
You would have
That would
gone
have been
straight
way
away.
too
Yeah.
easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, shall we jump
Alright.
into episode?
Well, I just
11?
want to say, in these quizzes, I am now 2 for 2.
Yeah, it's true.
Alright,
I've got
wow.
another quiz idea for for the next.
It's not all
episode.
about the quizzes,
Fun
Harry. It's
time.
about the friends you make.
It's
along
about
way.
the journey. As the narrator in
Shut
this episode says at the end, actually, that we'll get to.
Yeah, it's true.
Episode 11, guys.
Yep. So it starts with Ash and stuff being lost again, and Ash is looking at some Spearow.
Yes, he's like, there's nothing here but Spearow.
And I was like, do you think I was like, do you think he's having like Spearow flashbacks?
Like
at this-
PTSD of
Yeah.
Spearow. Yeah, that's what I thought. I have that
Yeah.
in my notes as well.
He's just like looking at it. He's just like,
They
they
like,
killed me.
yeah, you know, they really do Spearow dirty in these series. Like
Oh, yeah.
they're the
Yeah.
antagonists,
Well, he
which
likes
we'll see
Spearow.
later in
actually-
this
Spearow
episode.
should be done.
I never want to catch, especially when it happens. Yeah, later on, I actually wrote it down. I'm never catching a Spearow like again. Like unless like I'm
What if these
completing a
were the-
Pokedex, I'm never using one.
Mm.
What if these were the same Spearow from the first episode? They've been following Ash and Pikachu this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh
What
my
a
god.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and there's like they have like a little bit of antics. Misty roundhouse kicks Brock.
Because he says there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bug on her.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually know that she's scared of bugs. He wasn't there for that.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
They probably
Exactly,
talked about
yeah.
it though.
Oh,
Yeah, he was being genuine. He was trying to help a friend
Yeah.
out. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, there's a bug on you. And he's
But
like,
it's taken
it was
them-
just some grass.
It's taken them
Brock
10
helps,
days.
helps out a lot of friends in this episode.
Yeah.
It's taken them
Good
to
guy,
get
Brock.
10 days to get to Vermilion City.
Yeah, actually, that's true. You know what I was thinking? I was like, maybe this is like the kind of justification for why they don't go to Saffron City first, because it's right between Cerulean and Vermilion City,
Mhm.
and like in the games, you'd have to like go through a tunnel because Team Rocket have taken it over. But to explain why they went like around the way that you could say that they got lost on trying to get to Vermilion, and that's why they
Yeah.
didn't go through Saffron.
That was my thinking as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily just went right through, but I guess to kind of keep it in track with the games,
And then I loved
probably the best course of action.
how
I
Ash.
s-
Sorry, you go, Oliver.
I was just gonna say, I assume a lot of like kids got lost as well playing the game, actually trying to get to Vermilion. I know
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I used to
I
just
played
get
it
lost.
originally.
Like, especially, I actually used to not be able to play once I got to Snorlax. Snorlax used to stump me
Yeah.
so hard for like hours. And then, like, I knew, and then when I figured out what I had to do, I used to be lost for another few hours trying to get back around to like wherever Snorlax was.
Yeah.
Like the first games are very non-linear. I was watching a speed run Leaf Green the other day. The guy did it in 2 hours, by the way. Amazing.
Wow.
And he did the first 3 gyms, and then his 4th gym, he went to Blaine first,
Wow.
which is what I found interesting. Yeah. Anyway, that's just a little bit of a sidetrack.
Oh, yeah.
We'll carry on.
I like how Ash pulls out a map. It's probably the best gag in there, and he's like, "We're right in the middle of nowhere," according to the map.
Yeah.
Like the map just has like a middle of nowhere section.
It's so good. So the trio, they walk along, and then they come across a giant rock with a Charmander sitting on top of it.
Mm.
And they look at it, and Ash brings out Dexter, and we hear some very important exposition actually that will be important to the story of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
That if the flame on Charmander's tails goes out, it will die.
It will die. Not
Was that your Dexter voice?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I thought you were putting on a Dexter voice.
Well, I guess I'm just naturally have Dexter energy.
Can you try Dexter voice,
Okay.
please?
If the flame on Dexter's oh my god.
That was good.
If the flame on Charmander's tail goes out, it will die. How's that?
That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good.
Thank you.
I give you a solid 7 out of 10. That was pretty good.
7.
Yeah.
I'd give it
Good
like
job.
a 7.5.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Logan. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I give it a 7.6, Logan.
And then Ash tries to throw a Pokeball at it twice, basically, in both times.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. Once the Charmander knocks it away, and the other time the Charmander knocks it out of it.
And
Yeah.
Brock says that maybe Ash they think maybe they should battle it to catch it, but Brock decides that like since its tail seems so faint already, that it probably isn't it wouldn't be good to battle.
Yeah, Brock's like, hey now, guys, let's not battle this dead Charmander.
Brock-
It's already in pain.
This is probably Brock. Like, this is the best episode for Brock.
Yeah,
so
this is a
far.
very
It's so good.
It's like you
Yeah.
see the story from Brock's point of view, and actually
Yeah,
I
he's
kind
lucky,
of
yeah.
a part of me argues that Brock should have caught Charmander almost.
I'm 100% with you, Dennis.
But-
100% with you.
Yeah.
But we'll see at the end.
We'll see, yeah.
And then, yeah.
What's that mean?
Spoiler alert! if you didn't know that Ash catches a Charmander in this 20-year-old episode where he
And we get-
catches a Charmander.
We get round 2 of Pikachu charades.
Yeah, Pikachu
Yes,
charades.
yes. More Pikachu
Mhm.
charades.
And
You
Ash does a better job
It's
of
gotten better.
of being able to tell what Pikachu's trying to say, which is kind of horrifying. It's like Pikachu is a clever mouse that's stuck in this mousy body. Isn't that kind of?
Well, we've all seen Detective Pikachu. It was actually just Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is in the anime series. It's just Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And then, so we learn from Pikachu's charades that the Charmander's waiting for its person to come back,
Yeah.
and we don't
Yes.
know why, or we don't know the circumstances yet.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
they, this is like a very, I want to say Japanese sensibility, where they're like, well, I guess we should just leave it because they're another person's Pokemon. It's very much like, you keep to your lane type of thing, which, it's like, it's quite normal in Japanese culture from someone that has like done a lot of research and reading into it. Like I used to be so big into Japan, so I can kind of see maybe why they do that. Like if you potentially would be like, oh, we should take it to a Pokemon Center, or we should drag it along with us, or something like that. Kind of intervention isn't really like a kind of a big thing. Like you kind of have to like have the circumstances really justify it, which we'll see in this episode.
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah,
like a kind of like a notion of respect, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this isn't our Pokemon. We don't have the right to like take it away. They have trust in like people.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
like
Initially.
that's what they always say about Pokemon. It's like it's all like the Pokemon's choice to go with you and do anything. So like you can't like make a Pokemon not do something that it
Yeah.
doesn't want to do.
They have
And,
like
they don't
some
know
level...
the circumstances as well.
Yeah.
Like the trainer could just be gone for 10 minutes, like
Exactly. Like,
taking a bathroom
Yeah.
break or something.
getting
or,
the potion.
you
or
know, like,
potion for
so
it.
they don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and-
they effectively they do the right thing.
Yeah, they
leaving
do
the
the right
Charmander
thing.
there.
And
I
so they
think as well,
go
Continuing on.
to the Poke Center that they saw on the map nearby, and they go in and have some. It starts raining, and they go in and have some like
Have some soup.
have
Yeah.
some hot
Hot
soup.
that
and then
looks so
A
cozy.
beautiful
actually.
looking Pokemon Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
it's
yeah.
So rustic.
It's
And
all
Brock's-
lock based.
Yeah.
Brock's just sitting there, like looking like dramatically out the window at the rain,
Yeah.
and then we get a shot of Charmander underneath.
Oh, and it has like a big leaf trying to like
leaf.
shelter, and the rain is just pouring down.
There's a storm. There's a
It's
storm
like
happening.
Yeah.
it looks.
He's just waiting there for
yeah.
his master,
Yeah.
and then we get
It's
back to the Poke
super
Center.
heartbreaking.
And then, oh, I just want to mention just briefly, in some of the clips you see Ash with brown eyes, which you don't really, canonically like in this anime series, Ash usually has black eyes, so it's kind of cool to see him with brown eyes, which he will have brown eyes later on in later series as well.
Oh, interesting. Is it just because it's easier to do black eyes because they don't gleam?
I guess
I'd
so,
assume
yeah.
so. Yeah.
But also it's like, like my eyes are quite similar. They just look black. And if like from a distance. So, yeah, they're
For those audio listeners, just look at a photo of Dennis,
Yeah.
and you'll see what he means by his black eyes.
yeah. I don't look like a demon or anything.
Okay.
It's just like
Wow,
a very
that's your
deep.
opinion, David.
It's just a very deep. It's a very deep brown. So, the trio at the cabin, and another thing that I just want to briefly mention is the characters don't shy away from saying die or the D word.
Yep.
Because
yeah,
like
it's not faint or anything. It's like these Pokemon actually die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dexter says die.
And like later on in this series as well, like in the movies and other media, they will like become quite anxious about saying die. They'll might say like finished or the end of, or like some other euphemism for die, but they really shy away from having death in this show, which I guess
I
makes
think
sense.
I think it's because when you have a show based around fighting these little creatures, you don't really want to explicitly say that the loser of the battle is going to die, because the Pokemon in battles, if they lose, they don't die, they do just get KO'd.
Yeah, they faint.
But in this situation with Charmander's like flame pretty much out, like that means death for that Pokemon, and
Yeah.
so it's nice that they actually managed to bother with the distinction of fainting and dying.
Yeah.
But I also get why they kind of shied away from it later in the years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
because-
definitely. Especially as like people
Yeah.
grow more attached to it, and then like I don't want to
Yeah.
see like a Bulbasaur like die on screen. But yeah, so we're back at the Pokemon Center, and then we hear this British guy.
This is British.
I don't know why he's British.
Yeah, he's just British.
distinctively
Damien.
British.
Just because
the
he
most
looks
annoying
like,
voice in anime history.
Yeah.
He is bragging about all these Pokemon he has, and then one of his groupies is like, "Didn't you used to have a Charmander?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I did." Oh, that's Australian. I can't do it in a British accent.
No,
Stick
go
with the
on.
Australian Logan. Logan,
Mate,
stick.
no, that's Australian. Okay, I'm gonna go Australian. He's like, "Yeah, mate, I was trying to ditch it, but it kept on following me, so I decided to." I told it I lifted on a rock and I told it I'd come back for it.
Bob's your uncle.
See, to me, that sounds more like Damien than
Bob's your
Australian.
uncle,
Anyway, I
Bob's
think
your
you nailed it there, Logan.
Yeah.
I give you 8. I give you 8 out of 10.
Oh,
What? Why does he get an A?
So
I'm gonna go practice now.
so we find out that Damien abandoned Charmander on the rock, and there's a
And
ma-
he's super cocky.
and
about
this
Yeah.
it.
massive
He's-
story.
Brock,
he's
like,
"Oh,
this is the angriest I've seen Brock.
yeah, because
today.
Damien says he did it because it was weak, and that's the only reason he ditched it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Brock
Yeah.
goes full badass.
Yeah, he
Oh, yeah.
grabs like Damien by the cuffs of his collar and like rustles him up a bit. And like they're about to duke it out. Like Damien's posse and the trio, they're about to have a fight in the Pokemon Center. But Northjoy comes and she breaks it up. She's like saying, "Don't use Pokemon for personal reasons, like personal vendettas, and also don't battle in the Pokemon Center." Which
Did you
I guess
guys
is fair
notice
enough.
the color of Nurse Joy's cross this
Yes,
episode?
I was looking.
What color was it?
It was green this episode.
Nice.
Mm.
And Brock
Yeah.
said that this Nurse Joy in particular was probably the most prettiest he's seen so far.
Yeah, Brock. You know, Brock's in the heat of a moment. He threatens Damien. He calls Damien a murderer, but then he still has time to flirt with Nurse Joy.
That boy has priorities.
Gotta get his priorities.
He
Yeah,
has
Brock
to.
has priorities.
Yeah, come on, it's Brock.
I don't know. It's just, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So
it was funny.
then they sprint to
They sprint to Charmander in a dramatic scene. They're running in the rain, trying to get back to that rock. And once we get back to the rock, we see that the Spearow are back.
Yeah, originally, we just see like 3 eyes,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, Team Rocket."
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what I
this-
thought.
And then it's like Spearow come flying out, and I'm like, "No!"
Yeah, you're like, and
Be
then
gone.
and I feel like the trio like,
full on-
how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah.
But those
good
Spearows
Thank you.
full on poach that Charmander. They're acting like vultures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
they're
vultures.
not.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
They're
vultures
not let him back.
vultures will wait for you to die first. Like even the
Yeah,
spear won't even
they're just-
give you that.
Yeah, so this Spearow full on gonna kill Charmander and then eat him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, oh my god.
It's the
yeah,
possibility.
that's
That's-
true.
What else are they
Salamanders
gonna
are
do?
delicious. We know this.
Are they?
Are they?
Have-
No, I don't know.
Have you had salamander, Harry?
No,
It's
no.
okay. You can tell us and everyone listening to the podcast.
It's like that scene from Matilda when Miss Trunchbull drinks the
The
newt from the.
but she
from, like,
doesn't.
the water bowl.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize it's in there. Yeah.
Oh my god. So Pikachu uses Thunder Shock or Thunderbolt. I just interchange them because the anime seems
One
to
of the
interchange
thunders.
them.
Yeah.
And and the trio gets hit by the Pikachu stray electricity as well.
How does Charmander not get hit?
Well, it's grounded on that big rock, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
I thought that too, but that's a
Mm.
clever answer.
Physics, we love it.
It's
so
actually a
they-
science-based podcast.
They grab that
for
poor, they
our
grab
viewers
that poor
out there.
Charmander. You see the Charmander. Its flame is about smaller than like a lighter flame, and it's
Yeah.
like they grab it and it's cradled in Brock's hands, and they've like taken off their raincoats and like
Yeah.
cradled, and Ash is like holding the flame up, covering the flame with his like rain jacket and like holding it up like. I was just imagining I would get so tired.
I was like, this is like the perfect moment for like Officer Jenny. I was expecting it to come because it looks
Mhm.
like they've got like a dead body, like
Oh
in,
my
in,
God.
in their arms, and they're like running like, through the woods at night time. I was half
That would
expecting
have been
Officer
such
Jenny.
a good moment if Officer
And
Jenny
then-
showed up. It was like,
For it
what
to
are
be
you
the
doing?
one time she's not suspicious, being like,
Yeah.
yeah, get that Pokemon.
Yeah,
and send it.
yeah.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
But yeah, they get back to the
The Pokemon Center.
Pokemon Center and they give it, and then Nurse Joy yells at them like the exact same way the other Nurse Joy is like.
Yeah,
She's
from-
like, how could you let your Pokemon get into this position?
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're like, well, it's not our Pokemon. It was actually Damien's. We rescued
Yeah,
it. And
Damien.
so they clear that up, and then Pikachu, not Pikachu, Nurse Joy takes. If you're a Damien, we apologize.
I don't. I'll put it out. I want
And-
all you Damiens to know.
I'm coming for you.
We love you, Damians.
Call me Damien.
Three out of 4 ain't bad.
So Nurse Joy puts Charmander in like ICU essentially, like in this dome with like little receptors on it and
Yeah,
stuff.
and his little tail's propped up on like a little like platform.
Oh, it's so
Yeah, I
cute.
thought
Yeah,
that was quite nice.
Nice little box for it.
And so yeah, they rest, and the next morning they find out that Charmander has left, and I guess
Yeah.
everyone just assumes that Charmander is gonna head back to that rock.
And go to see Damien, and then they kind of just, and then like Brock kind of wants to go find it, but then Misty and Ash are both just like. I was so surprised that Ash said it. Ash is like, we can't. Ash is the one who says like, oh, we can't change his mind.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Actually, I feel that's
Mm.
quite like a mature kind of way to look at it, because like it really is like like we were talking about like the abuse with AJ and Sandshrew
Yeah.
in the episode before, and like Ash tried to intervene in that one, and like it's not really, it doesn't really, you can't really help people unless they want to get help,
Yeah.
Oh,
It
damn,
seems
Dennis.
like Ash
Oh.
like kind of learned his lesson, because after he tried to revolt AJ's Pokemon, they all kind of stuck by the side of AJ. So Ash is probably assuming like, I guess Charmander, although he's been treated a bit poorly, he wants to stay with his trainer, and who am I to stop that? Like,
And-
I can't change that.
Yeah, he'll learn his lesson. I think is
Yeah.
also what Ash is kind of hoping.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then we get. I was actually upset at this whole next part when Team Rocket shows up.
Yeah, Team Rocket show up.
I was upset because I was like, no, Team Rocket. I was like, I didn't want them to come into this episode because it was such a sad episode. I was
Yeah.
like, no, go
Yeah.
away.
They
Get
honestly, there are like a few episodes where like I feel like Team Rocket are unwanted, because like you're just like, well, I wanted to see this other episode. Like I wanted to see
Yeah.
the story about the Charmander without
Yeah.
all this other stuff.
This is like the first
Like
time.
the argument could be made that like Team Rocket being there was somewhat necessary because it showed off the strength of Charmander, but like
Yeah.
they could have done that without having to need Team Rocket
They
Yeah.
could, yeah.
as well. Yeah, they didn't need to be there, but like them being there was, for me at least, it was like, okay.
So yeah, they dig a pit and they use a robot to dig the pit, which I thought was funny. There's this funny scene where they hide in the bushes and then Jesse like just takes out a remote and like the machine that's like in the way, it grows legs and it just like shuffles back into the busches. And like if they had turned like right, they would have been able to see like this big hulking machine.
It reminded me of
bushes.
like Totoro when at the bus stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just like walking.
I actually,
they probably
I
could've
really
seen
liked.
this giant like.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Oliver.
I really enjoyed seeing Team Rocket here, actually, as opposed to you guys, because I just like the running gag of them making holes.
Yeah,
It's like a trap, and it
they
hasn't
actually-
worked yet.
they bring
So
it up.
it was
They,
actually really satisfying
Meowth,
seeing them dig another hole and them like bickering
Yeah.
at each other, like, oh, you put too much dirt on it or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I
thought
mean,
it
I
was,
like
quite
that.
satisfying.
I like that aspect of them. I like Team Rocket in general. I guess I think that maybe I'm from knowing the future events of the series. I know that they do get overused,
Yeah, I'm sure.
but I don't hate them showing up in this episode. But I feel like I could get a bit annoyed at them showing up.
On the hole subject though, Meowth criticizes the holes, and then they're like, Jesse and James are both like, if at first you don't succeed. So I feel like that's their whole kind of motto for why there's so many holes and so many suction like hoses.
You know what the definition of insanity is?
Yeah. So the trio get they walk over the pit, and at first Team Rocket thinks that they don't fall through, but then they
It's
do.
just Pikachu, because Pikachu's so light. And you're like, oh, it didn't work.
and so then they fall in, and then Team Rocket are free to catch for Pikachu. So they use a giant giant red floating bubble that
Bubble was a bubble,
the
yeah.
It was a-
Pikachu rubber balloon bazooka
yeah.
is what it's called.
Was this a
the sound that
Yeah.
the rubber ball makes is so iconic for me.
yeah? Is this
Like, because we hear it a lot throughout the series,
Yeah.
but it's just such a, for me at least, weirdly a calming sound.
is it the one that is it like
Oh.
bow, bow?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Is it used multiple times?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
common
they
sound.
use it for
my
like
God.
most of their
I thought it was
inventions.
so lame. I thought, like,
Is
why
this-
is this giant red
Yeah.
ball just
Is
like,
this
chase?
is this a
What there was a moment where like Pikachu stopped and turned directions, and the
Yeah.
bubble stopped and
Yeah,
turned
it
direction with Pikachu.
Is this a reference to like that old like British Avengers show? Was there like a bubble that chased people?
I'm not sure.
Because I
Well,
remember
you know,
I remember in
I
The
think
Simpsons.
it was referencing the dirty bubble from
Yeah,
SpongeBob.
and
SpongeBob.
And SpongeBob, it's not even the dirty bubble
Yeah.
who does it. There's like a normal just bubble one day that starts like going around and terrorizing people.
There's an episode of The Simpsons that is a reference to that old school Avengers British show called Avengers, and in that episode of The Simpsons, there's like a bubble that chases people around. So I'm wondering
Oh.
if maybe this anime is referencing that Avengers
Could
show
be,
as
'cause
well.
They also
It's
talk
an
about
interesting
how
thought,
they're
but I
quite-
highly doubt it.
No, but they
I mean,
actually
they could
do.
be.
I think Jesse is talking about how they're like supervillains. Like they feel like supervillains and stuff now.
Yeah.
So it could be a reference.
And
to
maybe that's why they caught that reference, the animators or the dubbers, and they thought, oh, well, let's make Damien British as well to kind of tie it in a little bit more.
Maybe, I guess.
And then, so the rubber balloon kind of like captures Pikachu by squishing it around her. And I'm like, okay, everyone knows that if you're like stuck in like something like a balloon or something, you're gonna suffocate.
Yeah.
So is Pikachu just like slowly losing oxygen inside his balloon?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure.
100%.
I think they pop it because later on you see James holding it like a grocery bag,
Oh, okay, that's good.
so like
Mhm.
air can get in.
So the rubber tightens around Pikachu instead.
Yeah.
Like, how is that safer? That's less safe.
Yeah.
How rubber stuck in your face. You can't.
And then like,
Poor Pikachu.
Poor Pikachu.
and then Ash and stuff are stuck in the hole, and you're just like, oh no, how is Pikachu possibly gonna get saved? And then like you just see the little like Charmander there come out of nowhere.
Yeah, Charmander came back because Charmander
Yeah.
realized.
Very
Mhm.
wholesome.
Yeah.
And he like Charmander like says like with mouth translating, give them back the Pikachu. And they're like, And then they're like, what's this little flame thing gonna do? And then he like uses like
flamethrower.
Yeah, that Charmander is so
I want to
strong.
say how pretty the fire is.
It is a pretty fire.
In this 2D anime, like just a simple mix of red and yellow, and it just looks so gorgeous.
It
Yeah,
does.
it's really cool.
It's a weird thing to say that fire is pretty, but
No, fire is
Charmander
pretty.
itself, I have to say, also is fantastic Pokemon, and he's
yeah.
so cute this episode,
Yeah.
and it's great. It's very fulfilling seeing him come back. It's like, yes, Charmander, come back to me.
I can't wait for future episodes for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Really?
Yeah, we see a lot of like Charmander has like a great story arc, I think, throughout this.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Out of all the three he catches, the 3-star Charmander is the only, possibly the only one with an actual story.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because I guess
yeah.
Bulbasaur already has like a story. His story's already. He's kind of already had a story.
Yeah.
Like he was a bodyguard for a thing.
And we'll learn later with next episode, Squirtle also does as well.
Oh
I
my
feel like
gosh,
Squirtle's like I feel like Squirtle is like the comedian of the bunch in a way.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of is.
Yeah.
He just has that look as well. Like even in the original games, he's like round and like funny looking.
Squirtle's the best, and we'll talk about Squirtle next
Okay.
episode.
Yeah. So getting back to the episode, Charmander hits Team Rocket with a flamethrower that melts the rubber ball that so Pikachu can escape, and Charmander hits Team Rocket with a flamethrower again, and Pikachu joins in with a thunderbolt, and they just run off, and they're like, Team Rocket's blasting off again, and
They just run off.
And in the bushes, we have Damien, who's been watching this whole thing happening.
Yeah, why is Damien just creeping in the bushes? I thought that was so weird.
Maybe he overheard them or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Damien's a weird guy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh yeah, when I was there, it was okay. What is this like?
No,
That's a
keep
4
going.
out of 10. That's a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Finish the
Thank
quote.
you.
Finish the
He was
quote.
like, oh yeah, I just did that so that Charmander could get stronger.
Yeah.
And now that Charmander has been stronger, you see that my methods have been proven to be right.
Damien is worse than Team
I don't
Rocket.
remember him saying that. But
Well, something
that's
along
the
those
gist.
lines. I don't have it
That's
written.
the gist.
Damien is like way worse than Team Rocket.
Damien is the
Damien's
worst.
actually like the devil.
Yeah, we all hate Damien.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, because and then
Because
like-
I feel like Team Rocket know that they're the bad guys.
Yeah,
But
and
Damien
feels
doesn't.
like he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
all bad guys think what they're doing is the right thing.
Yeah, that's true.
right?
So he's a good
in that
villain.
sense, he's the perfect bad guy.
Yeah.
And then like so Charmander's going back and they're all kind of like explaining, trying to just give Charmander their little tidbits of being like he's bad and blah blah.
Don't go back to him.
And then Charmander looks torn, and then Damien throws a Pokeball to get Charmander back, and then Charmander knocks it away.
Yeah, because he
Well,
over.
I think
he-
it's
he had
it's important to
something-
mention that Damien says like, I wasn't gonna come back for you, but then I
Yes.
saw how strong you were,
Yeah.
and now come on back to me.
Yes.
Yeah. And he says
Yeah.
like that raising Pokemon is the most boring part of being a Pokemon master and
Yeah.
trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Real
So,
big
Brock
Greedy,
flips out
you
on
know?
him.
yeah. So Charmander sees through Damien now and hits him with a flamethrower, essentially, and he just runs off with his tail between his legs.
Mm-hmm.
He cries to his mummy,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
Good.
Brock and Ash have a little conversation about. Well, Brock offers Charmander to Ash, and Ash is like, "No, you're the one who like looked after him and basically did everything. You have him." And Brock's like, "No, you could like."
Brock's like, you kept the fire alight on its tail, but
Yeah.
Brock did everything else.
Yeah, literally.
Well, as well, because as the viewers, we're watching the point of view from Brock, the whole episode from Brock's perspective. Like we see his thoughts, we spend the most time with him in this episode, and we see the journey. And like I think you can assume that Brock probably cares the most because of how his instincts. But also, I kind of view this as maybe Brock is like being a giver again. He's like being like, well,
Yes.
Charmander should go with you, Ash, because you can use it in the battles.
Yeah, it's very
and
kind. What he says it in such a kind way as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I wanted him to take Charmander as well. I thought he actually deserves it more.
yeah.
but-
Reading into
It does fit
as
with his
well.
character though.
Reading into it as well and knowing how Charmander becomes eventually in the series, I kind of get the feel as well that Charmander kind of wanted to go with Brock as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think Dennis would only understand this because you two haven't seen it this far
No.
yet. But yeah, because Brock treats Charmander so well, and so does Ash. Don't get me wrong, so does Ash. And I feel like Charmander wanted to be with Brock, but took the offer to be with Ash to be around Brock. If that makes sense.
Oh, that's an interesting
Yeah.
theory. I'm
What?
looking
So
forward to seeing that
Charmander
later
is
on.
just like some sort of got like poke-zoned by Brock. Oh my god.
And then like so after that
Possibility.
conversation is like I teared up in this next part.
Yeah.
I was like,
You're tearing up right
I
now.
am tearing up thinking about it. Ash like pulls out his thing like Pokeball, and Charmander like leaps into the Pokeball. Oh, it was so nice.
It's a
After a little
beautiful
chat,
moment,
he was gonna
yeah.
die, and then there's a family.
He's on the team.
That's
Yeah.
good.
The abandoned
Yeah, it's
Pokemon
great.
got a home.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the narrator comes back in after a while. I feel like this is like the first time we hear the narrator in ages.
We heard him in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, of this
He's always
episode.
in the beginning of the episode. Yeah.
But like not in the previous episodes. Did we get narrator?
I don't-
Probably.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like
he's
we have
always
heard him
there.
every
I
Yeah,
think
it's
at
like-
the beginning of the Bulbasaur, but we didn't end on Bulbasaur with him.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
but
But he's always there in the beginning, just to say like Ash, Misty, and Brock, blah blah blah. And
No,
then
but-
they go into the episode.
He has definitely like a good. I see you wrote it down. So I was
Yeah.
gonna say he had a good like line.
There was like usually I don't really the narrator doesn't like get to me, but I thought that the line the narrator says in this one was actually quite good. He's like getting lost isn't so bad, especially being lost with your friends. Of course, finding your way with friends is even better.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
That's so cute. That's a cute.
That's
line.
really like lame, but
Especially,
That's
like, the
super
delivery is, like,
cheese,
being
man.
lost with your friends is not bad, and then he's like, "But finding your way is better." I thought that was good.
Yeah, yeah. And
that's the end of
so
the episode.
yeah, and we have
Yeah.
this is Charmander will reappear many times as
Ooh.
well. I think it's not a spoiler to say that
Love
Charmander evolves. So
Yeah.
so it
So
evolves.
much better than Bulbasaur. Like 100%.
I was expecting to see Bulbasaur in this episode, so that we'd have like a mini
I know.
Like an interaction.
yeah, like with the trio coming together.
We
almost.
will see them interact like quite a bit in
Cool.
actually within the next 10 episodes. I think like
Yeah.
Mhm.
there's an episode where we see them like really
And
interacting.
that's good because like, and then like even in like I know in the next episode, we don't see Charmander or Bulbasaur with who we see in the next episode.
Yeah, well, I think we can say who it is
Yeah.
because it's in the name
It's
of
in
the episode. The next episode is called "Here Comes the Squirtle Squad."
Oh my god,
This was
Dun, dun, dun.
my personal favorite episode, so
It's
I
so-
can't wait to discuss
Yeah.
it.
so funny.
Yeah.
So
It's- oh my god.
so how should we do like
Final
Final
thoughts?
thoughts? Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Do you want to start, Dennis?
Oliver, you
Yeah.
go first.
Oh, Oliver go first, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved this episode. It was so cool. I thought it's such like a touching story, and we really get to see like Brock, Ash, and Misty actually like we get to see their hearts so much in this episode, which is really cool. We
Mhm.
get to like it's a lot of character development. We see them as like because in the past we've seen like Ash kind of be cocky and then kind of be disjointed, but they're all kind of unified as with this like one thing, and it's
Yeah.
like it's really nice to see them together like tackling this one issue, and it's really cute. And Charmander's great. Screw Bulbasaur, and yeah, it was a great episode. And Damien is lame. So
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Again, we see Brock's inherent paternal instincts come out this time for a Pokemon. So it's good to see that his love
Mhm.
reaches out to all species, not just his own family or Ash and Misty. But it's truly an episode where all three of them become more humble within themselves. And like you said, Ash was being super cocky up at this point.
Mhm.
And he kind of loses that cockiness from here on out as
Yeah.
well. Like, it's
Nice.
still there,
That's
but
good.
he's no longer flexing badges anymore, which is good. I think the realization of how other people can treat Pokemon and abandon them and abuse them makes them realize just a love for Pokemon and a love for each other.
Mhm.
And like Dennis said, that the narrator said something with friends at the end. I forgot the quote already, but that's fine. Friends make it all the better.
Yeah.
And it's
Cool.
yeah, it's a strong episode. And Damien is lame.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Snap.
Logan.
No, you can go next, Dennis.
Okay, all right. Jeez. I thought this episode was really. I thought it was so good. Like a great introduction to Charmander. I feel like we don't spend enough time with Charmander just from knowing what happens later on. So enjoy Charmander while you can, because you don't get Charmander for too much longer.
Oh, because he evolved.
Yeah, eventually. And Charmander is really cute, and this episode is just like it's a really pivotal moment in the series, I think, where it kind of shifts from just being about maybe catching Pokemon and battling to maybe like Pokemon with like inner lives, and Pokemon that like you can really that can really have story and emotions, and like they're valid, I guess. But it's like, I really enjoy this episode, and it really like helps to kind of ramp up to what's coming next.
Nice.
My favorite episode so far, I think. Yeah, by far. Like, because it's the only. I was like, it wasn't the funniest episode. It wasn't like not the most happened, but it was like emotionally the most satisfying episode. And like I teared up,
for sure.
And like
You're tearing up again.
Because I watched it. I watched it just before we recorded this, and so like I've just felt like the sadness from that end moment when he caught him. This whole time we've been recording.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's just so nice.
It's really good.
I was just like so
It's
happy that
such a good
Charmander got like into
He
like
got a happy home.
He got a happy home. Yeah, it's like because
Yeah.
you just like think about like abused animals and stuff, and you're just like, But no, I
And
love it.
it's actually it's a trait of Ash that carries on throughout the series. He tends to adopt quite a fair bit of abandoned Pokemon,
Yeah.
which is it's lovely.
nice.
Yeah.
And my thoughts
on
on
Ash.
Damien, he's the devil.
Good stuff.
I'll drink to
So that was the Dexperience. I was Dennis.
I was Logan.
I was Harry.
I was Oliver.
And if you're watching during the day, I hope you have a good day. And if you're watching at nighttime, have a good sleep.
Yeah,
Good
thank you
stuff.
very much.
I
Follow
wanna
us
give a
on
quick
Instagram and
shout
Facebook.
Quick shout out to my unsung heroes, Wallaby, Morlol, and
Oh my God.
Sunkern. Keep your heads held up, Kings. There are people who love you.
I think it's Volbeat. I like Volbeat.
Are these Pokemon?
Yes.
follow
Cool,
you.
okay.
Yeah,
Follow us.
Logan, they're Pokemon no one cares about.
Oh, okay. I like
People
how you.
care about them.
I like how you shout out to them every episode.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram at Dexperience Podcast, and Facebook at Dexperience Podcast as well, I think. And we're on email us at the Dexperiencepodcast@gmail.com if you have questions, have like games you want us to play, and leave us a review on your podcast
Podcast platform.
of choice.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. See ya.
See ya.
Ciao.
That was great. I really need to pee. I always need to pee during like the last 20 minutes, so